It's hard to describe to someone what it feels like to have fibromyalgia, but in this video, I'm going to share my top 5 scenarios that might help you to understand. And then I'll share the good news about fibro. Well, I consider it a good thing because it's better than the alternative. Let me know if you learned something and if these would be your top 5, or would you put something else at the top of your list? I'm going to go get some makeup on. Okay, now imagine I have a to-do list for a specific day. I might have it written down in my planner, or I just might have it in my head, but I will push myself to get that finished by the end of the day. I've overexerted myself, and now I'm not even going to have enough energy to do the activities that I want to do in the next 3 days. Why do I do that? Well, first, I'll ignore something that needs to be done because I know it's going to take a while to get it done. I'm not a procrastinator, but I know that when I go to do something that's going to take time to finish, I'll wait and do it when my husband's going to be around for the day. That's usually the weekend. So if I need help, he's there. And those of you who know me know when I have a plan and there's something I want to get done, I want to do it myself. It's just me. I know that I should pace myself, but let's say the thing I want to do is to organize my shelves in my utility room. Well, I did that yesterday. It had gotten so out of control that I couldn't let it go any longer. In the process, I make a huge mess all over the floor. Well, that's so that I can see what I have and how I want to group things together and to make it look better and easier to find. You know, I have to get it done because the mess is just too much. I'm always fighting my personality that wants to see things pretty and organized. Now, I do take breaks to rethink my organizational plans and give my body a rest. But I know that if I could, I prefer to take my time doing it, like let's say over the course of the week, so that it's not so taxing on my body. The truth is, I have 3 dogs, and that stuff can't sit on the floor for their curious minds to investigate. Here's a pic of what it looks like now that I have it done. I'll see if I can find one for the before. It's not Pinterest worthy, but it's organized. But today I have pain in my neck and shoulders and my lower back due to bending and lifting all day yesterday. And if you're asking, how did I let it get so out of control? Well, when I was working on my dissertation, and I finished it last August, so obviously this is something I have put off. I love watching videos on organization on YouTube, so I put a few of them that I love in the description box below. Okay, next thing. Have you ever been shocked by touching something metal? I'm sure you have, everybody has. For me, that happens multiple times a day without touching metal. It's usually in my legs, but I've had that experience in my arms too. Sometimes it feels like creepy crawlies. And I look to see if there's something crawling on my skin. And no. But most of the time it's like that shock feeling that you get when you touch something metal. Can be embarrassing when you're in public and you suddenly grab that part of your body where it was so that you don't let out out. You know, when I'm around people that I love and who love me, they don't care. Now, along with that, I experience paresthesia in my feet and hands. Paresthesia is an abnormal sensation, typically tingling or prickling, you know, that pins and needles feeling that's normally caused by pressure or damage to peripheral nerves. It can be caused by restricted blood flow in that part of the body, but as I'm sitting here doing nothing, I have pins and needles in my feet. You know that feeling when your feet go to sleep? That happens to me a lot. So when I get up to move around, it feels pretty weird and I have to be careful because I can't feel my feet properly. It doesn't last long. But again, it's a weird sensation. I put a link to a video on Healthline below where this author gives her take on what it feels like. And I love this one in particular. She says, run a 10K, don't prepare or train, just go out and run it. And you can't walk. How would your body feel for days after? Well, that's how we feel daily. Some days are worse than others, and some days I feel almost human. But the amount of energy that I once had before fibro, I know is gone. But alternative treatments help, like a hot bath or heating pads. Medication doesn't help much. Then I'm always cold in the winter. My hands and feet, I wear 2 pairs of socks every day all winter with shoes. It's hard to find a temperature in my house that's just right. And the problem with feeling so cold all the time is that it's hard to get warm without a really hot bath. My muscles tighten and spasm in the cold, and I feel constantly achy. But if I stay in the tub too long and I get too warm, then I'm uncomfortable from being too hot. In the summer, it's hot, right? I love the heat unless I'm in it too long. Then it makes me feel sick. And that's mainly because I have neurocardiogenic syncope with my fibro, so I have to be careful not to overdo myself in the heat. But if I were to choose between the cold weather or hot weather, I'd take the hot weather any day. Probably because I do have air conditioning, as long as I don't make it too cold in the house. And then I have to go outside and sit out there on a lawn chair and get heated back up. But here's the good news. Fibromyalgia isn't progressive. It may progressively come on over time, but once you've got it, you've got it. The oversensitivity of our nerve endings are set in stone, but it doesn't cause damage to our body like an autoimmune disease. I won't need a new joint due to inflammation unless you're someone with that kind of autoimmune disease alongside your fibro. I'm not getting tissue damage by overdoing it, but I'll feel like it for a few days. My organs aren't affected. So again, that's good news, unless you also have a disease that damages your organs with your fibro. Here's the thing. Many people with fibro have overlapping conditions like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, etc. But if you don't, be thankful. It could always be worse. And trust me, I'm talking to myself here too. So to my fibro friends, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. I send you gentle hugs and support. Have a blessed day. Love you. If you like this video, please comment below and like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.